Hello, this is Silvia Pavoni, investment editor of The Banker, reporting from the first official day of the 45th annual meeting of Felaban. I'm talking to Tod Burwell, who is the Senior Vice President for Trade Products for BAFT-IFSA, which is the international organization that, among other issues, also deal with trade finance. And Tod, you've just spoken at the conference earlier today, reporting on the impacts that Basel III is very likely going to have on trade financing products. Could you just sum up your thoughts?
Sure. We're concerned that with Basel III, which is intended to improve the resiliency of the banking sector, could have unintended consequences specifically on trade finance, which has a direct impact on the real economy. Banks have already looked at the impact on their cost of capital and what it means for their lending practice. 92% of the banks we've interviewed have said their costs are going to go up anywhere between 18 to 40%. And those costs will be passed on ultimately to corporate clients, and that can impact their ability to trade effectively and competitively. We've also heard that a third of the banks expect that they may reduce the amount of trade finance they make available, and that's going to have direct negative consequences on export companies' ability to grow.
And of course, you raised the issue earlier of trade finance being put in the same bag as all other corporate financing products, which means that the risk that is given to this product is the same as other definitely riskier asset classes. So do you think that at some point we're going to see trade finance taken out in a singular asset class, or do you people need to just give up and accept that this is the situation?
Well, I don't think we're ready to give up. We do believe that there needs to be some recognition that trade finance is a low-risk, short-term, self-liquidating type of instrument, and it is not homogeneous with other corporate lending products. There's been a study that was done by the ICC which has demonstrated that off-balance sheet trade items are 80 days on average, that the loss given default rates were less than 3,000 for 11.4 million transactions. There's really no rationale for how one corporate product is evaluated against another corporate product from a capital point of view, and we think there needs to be greater consideration given to that. Again, the key being that trade finance is used to support real economic activity as opposed to some of the other corporate products.
Which is a key point, especially at this time. And I know that you regularly are in Europe to lobby to make sure that, or at least to try to make sure that trade finance is given the right calibration within the regulatory new production, let's call it. So what is your feeling? Are your concerns being heard? What is the kind of response you're getting from regulators?
The concerns are definitely been heard. I think when we show the linkage between trade finance and the real economy, it becomes much more evident why there is a concern about the unintended consequences. What we're seeing now taking place in Europe, with many banks having to go out to the market to raise additional capital in order to meet the required targets, they're taking the alternative, which is to look at the size of their balance sheet and how they can restructure their balance sheet. Unfortunately, because trade finance is short-term, as those facilities start to come due, it becomes an easier decision in some cases not to renew the trade finance facilities. So we're already seeing the impact taking place now, which means that there's less trade finance available in the market. This is a concern not only for European banks, but clearly for European companies that rely on trade finance.
Thank you very much for your comments.
Okay. Thank you.